Hello everyone, today in this video we'll be discussing the editorial analysis of the Hindu newspaper. Today is 9th July 2020. Some of the articles, the first article is on social contract needs to be rewritten. It is regarding the pandemic crisis, decentralization steps, the empowerment, how the state is sensitive regarding this issue. Second article is on pandemic is about eye shutting. The author compares regarding the blindness, which was written by Nobel laureate, and the present pandemic situation. The third article is on NREGA, that is the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. It has been extended to further. There is a reason for extension, and this also boosts a lot of people who are under this act and employment. Before I begin, I am Prashant. I welcome you all to Wifi Study Karo. If you are new to my channel, I request you all to subscribe so that you will not miss any further updates. This is a cartoon of the day. It clearly shows that the Telangana government, that is KCR, demolishing the secretariat and building the new in this huge pandemic situation. Even though cases are increasing, but the government is keen focusing on demolishing the secretariat rather than this pandemic activity. Picture depicts the exact scenario of the Telangana government. First article is on social contract needs to be rewritten. The authors of this article are advocates of Madras High Court. They are the practicing advocates. Social contract needs to be rewritten regarding the pandemic crisis, how it can be overcome. There are some steps, decentralized steps, ensure empowerment when state is sensitive. Coronavirus pandemic has affected lives many, and its catastrophic impact goes beyond the disease itself. There is a posterity, that means the future generation will judge how good or bad government performed in 2020. There is a finding a cause for these preferred performances in 2020 due to the coronavirus pandemic. No answers due to the problem thrown by the pandemic, especially those faced by the poorest of the poor. Some countries claimed victory in containing impact of disease, but claims appear to be hollow and even myopic, means they lack farsightedness. And the question arises, is this pandemic impact the result of failure of individual governments or due to the bipolar ruler or rule dynamic of governance? And there is views on the mankind's ancestors in the course of evolution, which formed a concept of social groups and resultant rules. This kind of social contract theory, that is the days of monarchies and empires prevailed, that is dominating rule in the olden days. It is easy to understand social contract, and they are treated as God's representatives at the time on the earth. But democratically elected government right now, which is found difficult to derive the same legitimacy with the growth of fundamental freedoms, those of speech and expression. Gout really relies on the theory expounded by Hobbes and Rousseau. These are the two eminent persons in the world. According to Hobbes, man in nature was solitary, nasty and brutish. According to Rousseau, man in nature was born free. In the modern days, when a man used collectively develop the society and frame the rules. But in modern days, society, after forming, served by the government with the consent of the people. The author also says that Indians are of two types. The first type, which obeys the social distancing, buys groceries and provisions by precautions and follow government directive principles and largely abides the norms by the government. The second type of people are the crowds in railway station. They get back to native places, and when they fail, resort drastic steps of even walking to those 1,000 kilometers, defying Gout rules. Due to this second type of people, impact of COVID-19 has hardest at the impact was nothing to do with the disease. For those in governance in this crisis, people look for guidance, and talking to them a safety, but sources of power is an unequal society is centralized. These responses to crisis led to unequal relief in different shastra of society. Due to this unequalness, social contract has failed on this occasion because we are dealing with the massive myopic pathogens. COVID-19 can only be defeated by the empowered popularity or empowering the population. Social control requires to be rewritten. Only the fundamental introspection and rethinking by the governing classes, including the bureaucrats, can bring the change in the system. This article is on how to curb the situation, how to control this pandemic is only by rewriting the social contract needs and also introspecting the fundamental and rethinking of the governments, including the bureaucrats, and bring a change in the society in obeying the norms and rules by the government. This is regarding social contract that needs to be rewritten. The next article, the author compares with a book by the Nobel laureate Jose. The book name is Blindness, is strikingly the persistent which correctly predicts about the sweeping illness. The plot revolves around mysterious epidemic because of which people suddenly turn blind. In the novel, it is said that a person who is driving the car in traffic has suddenly turned blind and he asks fellow neighbor to take to home, but he runs away with the car. This contagion spreads rapidly, but all those who are affected by this epidemic are quarantined in Islam, that means in a protective way. 7 people in the novel, doctor's wife, girl, and with a girl with a glasses and etc. Some of the characters have no food, no proper hygiene, no proper hospitality, and brutality led to the panic among the blind. These 7 escape from that protection place, that is Islam, and enter the city to find that everybody in the city had become blind. The author correlates the similar kind of the things in that novel to this pandemic situation. Data and workers' anonymity. The blindness regarding the number of migrant workers, as the government's own data sources are inconsistent and are a massive underestimate. The Office of the Chief Labour Commissioner states that 26 lakh of migrants, but economic survey puts that the number of above 8 crore people who are the migrants. This lack of accountability has given free rein, that means the authority, to those complex of web contractors and subcontractors to extend the various forms of exploitations. The migrant workers, like in the character of the blindness, have been rendered namelessly in the unequal power of gambit. Prime Minister recently announced a free food grains for National Food Security Act NFSA beneficiaries till November. It is a welcome move but excludes those without ration cards. As per the estimates, around 10 crore eligible beneficiaries continue to be excluded under the NFSA. This means around 10 crore people are still not benefited with this novel measure. This is due to the government using only 2011 census data. 2 petitions confirming the food and income support for the migrants were dismissed by the Supreme Court of India during the lockdown. This court finally took suo motu cognizance after 20 senior lawyers wrote a letter to Chief Justice of India. The Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, representing Union of India, had submitted that there has been no deaths in Shramik trains due to the lack of food and water. The deaths are due to the illness which was caused earlier. Added to these statements, Union Minister of Railways Piyush Goyal in one of the meetings said that there is no person who is starving still till the span of 3 months. In reality, around 850 non-COVID deaths due to unplanned lockdown had happened. Indian Railway Protection Force Service data says that around 80 deaths in Shramik trains, that is, this report is from SWAN, that is Standard Workers Action Network reports that 50% had just one day and of rations and left off 64% had at least rupees less than 100 rupees. The Museum of Misery. The lucky ones took the trains, have to pay travel forms, pay bribes and face police brutality. Unlucky ones stayed back, some evicted from the rented spaces, waiting for their chance to come. There should be a need for many corrections such as a stronger adherence to the constitutional values, transparency, accountability from the government and judiciary. This is regarding the data and workers' anonymity. The pandemic is about eyes shut. The next article is on case of extension of MGNREGS. MGNREGS means Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. 8.4 lakh poor households completed at least 80-day or 100-day limit for the work under MGNREGA and over 1.4 lakh completed full quota. In the span of these 80 days, which in the lockdown, 8.4 lakh poor households have completed their work quota in MGNREGA, that is Guarantee Rural Employment Scheme, out of 100 days limit. 4.6 crore households benefited by the scheme. Migrant laborers losing jobs returning to their homes to avoid distribution. This scheme has come to a huge relief to a poor families in the time of pandemic. Government decision to extend also benefited households. Most of the states demand for MGNREGS since it is implemented. The scheme has acted as an insurance for all those who are from rural dwelling during the crop failure and agrarian cities. The lessons from the sources and failures is that the success and failures could be used as a more comprehensive job guarantee plan that covers urban India also. Besides alleviating distress, this could also boost consumption and aid for economic recovery. This is regarding case for the extension on the Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Since its implementation over the decade ago, the scheme has acted as an insurance for the rural dwellers during the crop failure and agrarian crisis, but the centre's outlook towards it continues to limit it only as a fallback option to the poor. That's the end of article discussion. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel, like, share and comment. Thanks for your time on this. Have a great day.